banner.
I'm not saying this should happen, but imagine if Bungie made a massively controversial change to keep the company going and refocus on delivering quality and surprising story-driven content like that of the excellent Witch Queen and Forsaken DLC. But if they took the step to kill PvP to focus Destiny as a solely PvE game. Right now, Bungie wants to keep everyone happy, or maybe you could look at it like Bungie wants a portion of every pie. It wants the world. It offers everything to everyone, but ultimately ends up satisfying no one. Destiny 2 remains a looter shooter with PvP thrown in, and it borrows a little from nearly every genre. But sustaining this over 10 years has had a far-reaching impact on the gaming company and the player community as a whole. Bungie could be accused of losing its way and its competitive direction. You can't keep everyone happy. You just need to look at Reddit or Twitter to see how unhappy players are, even though they still play on religiously. We talk about the frustration level of players who've stuck around for the last decade and feel very unfulfilled since the magic they felt in the game has flitted away. There's been a lot of talk of a Destiny 3, but in reality, what is it you mean when you say Destiny 3? For me, I hear a back to basics approach. What is it that Destiny does so well when it tries? It can build enthralling environments, characters to root for, and gameplay you love to play with. It can thread of stories together that excite us and make us want to play to learn more about what happens. Running in tandem to this are the areas of PvP where we go through rounds against other players. They involve characters from the main narrative, but only as a figurehead to connect it to the story-driven game in some way. Otherwise, it has nothing to do with Destiny 2 apart from it being set in the same universe. There's zero crossover between the story narrative part of the game and the PvP format type. It feels like a random element that was just lumped in to keep players entertained between DLCs, with the seasons ultimately being leaned upon to do this in a more cohesive way. In theory, at least. Now, what if we killed off the PvP element of Destiny 2? What would that mean to the game? From a development and resources standpoint, it would mean teams would now solely focus on the principal story DLCs, gameplay, seasons, and developing unique, memorable, story-driven content that will surprise the player and challenge them. And of course, don't forget about the episodes. Destiny 2 would become a solely PvE game. Without the need to balance weapons and abilities for PvP, Bungie could potentially invest more resources in creating engaging PvE content, including new story missions and activities. We could potentially get more endgame activities like raids and dungeons and a variety of new Grandmasters. What if it enabled more content being delivered into open world areas where we really, right now, have very little motivation to venture into? Specialized missions like strikes dropped into open world environments would be amazing from my point of view anyway. Reduce balancing issues. Removing PvP could simplify the balancing process, leading to a more stable PvE experience. Eliminating PvP could streamline development efforts, allowing Bungie to allocate resources more efficiently towards enhancing the core PvE experience and addressing community feedback quickly. PvP environments can sometimes be breeding grounds for toxicity and frustration. A shift towards PvE could create a more positive and collaborative community atmosphere, potentially attracting new players who are deterred by toxic PvP experiences. This could be an opportunity for Bungie to drive more adoption of the marathon game whenever they get that together. I have the feeling that the game types they've been innovating in Destiny could have been their staging ground for building out fully within their new IP. You never know, this might prove to be a good thing, depending on how they decide to monetize it, of course. What would be the negative impact of removing a principal game type from the game? You can infer that this is kind of already started with the abandonment of Gambit as a game style, and Bungie stating that there won't be active development of that game type. Scaling back resources for PvP game types. Would there be a loss of player base if such a change happened? PvP is a significant draw for many players in Destiny 2, and removing it could lead to a decline in the player base. PvP enthusiasts may move to other games that offer a more robust competitive multiplayer experience. It's a possibility. PvP adds variety to the gameplay experience, and removing it might make the game feel less diverse. Players who enjoy both PvE and PvP may miss the combined experience that Destiny 2 currently offers. The Destiny 2 community as a whole is diverse, with players having different preferences for gameplay. Removing PvP could result in a backlash from those who enjoy the competitive aspect of the game, potentially leading to negative sentiment within the community. In fact, with the community as it stands, you can guarantee a backlash in some way, and streams of subreddits and tweets being angrily thrown at Bungie for once again killing the game. There'd probably be some economic impact. PvP activities like Trials of Osiris are often associated with in-game rewards and events. Removing this game type could impact the game's economy and the value of certain items that are tied to PvP achievements. Maybe Eververse might be indirectly impacted, but I don't think that many people buy aesthetic items for pure use within Crucible or Iron Banner even. PvP can contribute to the longevity of a game by providing an ever-changing competitive landscape. Removing this might reduce the overall playability of Destiny 2 for some players. But think about it, could this be a great change in the long-term viability of the game? Could this force players who are addicted to being angry and frustrated about the decline in delivery and consistency to try other games and not crucify every change and addition to the game, whether it's actually good or not? Honestly, I don't know what this would mean, but I for one think that Destiny is a PvE game with PvP elements thrown in. I love to switch off and go through a few rounds of control, but I can see what the bigger picture of Bungie could be if they streamlined to a purely PvE game. Being everything to everyone just isn't sustainable. Is Destiny's identity tied into its PvP? Can we imagine a route forward without this one game type and the story, narrative and character with attached gameplay be the full focus of the team and resources? Will it be the downfall of the game developer? But it could be the downfall of the game developer, but I don't think so. And I don't think anyone wants to see that. Everyone wants to see Bungie succeed and be better and provide better experiences for players and the community.
Zone A. You captured Zone C. Zone B captured. 2 zones are yours. Glorious dawn is coming, Guardian. Finish this. Zone C lost. Opponent claims Zone C. Captured Zone A. 2 zones are yours. it. You won. Few could have done better.